So I was looking at the review of this book on YouTube and I found that some of the reviewer called this book as anti-India because it showed India in a bad light. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Look, I love and I'm proud of my country, but there are many things in this nation that I'm not proud of. There are certain Indian authors who need a masterclass from Arvind Adiga on how to write a novel. Like, I won't name which authors, but there are certain popular Indian authors who badly need a class like that. Anyway, hey there fellow book nerds, this is your Mr. Reader Talib and you're watching my channel High on Books, and today we're going to talk about The White Tiger by Arvind Adiga. Boy oh boy, what a story it was. It's a truly amazing and a thought-provoking story, guys, and this by far is the best book that I've read by an Indian author, and had I read this book earlier I would have been reading more from them. So yeah, what a book to start my year with. Now, talking about this book, The White Tiger is the debut novel of the author Arvind Adiga, and it won the 40th Man Booker Prize. This story is about a guy named Balram Halwai who was born into a very poor and a very backward part of India, and being born into a poor family, Balram wanted to fight his way out of it. So first we see Balram as a kid in his village where he was slightly different from his peers and he was a very brilliant student. But despite being a brilliant student, he was not able to continue his education because his family forced him into labor. So he started working at a very young age. Then he shifted to this city, Dhanbad city, where he learned driving, and later he was hired by this filthy rich family as a driver. So this family had a son named Ashok, son named Ashok, who had returned from America with his wife Pinky. So this couple found Dhanbad city a little bit unfit for them, so they wanted a city which was more closer to the western country. So they decided to shift to Delhi, and they took Balram with them. So when Balram went over there, he was heavily inspired and influenced by the life the rich led over there. So he wanted to fuck women with golden hair, he wanted to drink English liquor, he wanted to go to malls, he wanted to eat what the rich were eating. He basically wanted to be one of them. But the problem was there were two different voices in his head. The first voice was asking him to continue to be the servant of his master, to continue to stay in the rooster coop, and he hated this voice. And then there was this other voice which was asking him to take the risk, to do things which is necessary to break out of this rooster coop, to fight out of this darkness. So how Balram Halwai fights his way out of this darkness, out of this poverty, is the story of the White Tiger. Now, if you talk about the writing style of this book, the writing style is really good and it's easy enough for a beginner to understand. And the pacing of this book is fast too. Like you can finish this book in a single or two sitting, or at the most 3 or 4 sittings. And then what makes this book interesting is, like, it is a character-driven story and it is told from a perspective of a morally flawed characters. So this makes the book sometimes really humorous and sometimes it takes a really dark turn. So it just keeps shifting course and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Now, talking about something controversial here. So I was looking up the review of this book on YouTube and I found that some of the reviewer called this book as anti-India because it showed India in a bad light. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Look, I love and I'm proud of my country, but there are many things in this nation that I'm not proud of. Can you deny this? Can you deny this? Can you deny this? No. Then why the fuck, when some piece of art talks about bad aspect of a society, people start calling it as anti-India? What happens when something shows bad aspect of a society? What will happen is people will get into a conversation about it, and then they'll eventually ask question, who is responsible for this shit? Who is responsible for our plight? And eventually we will point the fingers toward the governments who have been in power and who are currently in power, and the governments there do not want to look bad. So when a piece of work is talking about the bad aspect of a society, they're not showing India in bad light, they're actually showing the government in bad light, and the governments do not approve of it. So that's why they put their minions on work and they start painting everything as international, which does not suit the narrative. And when you fall for it, you're doing a great disservice to nation, because if you do not talk about these things, it basically means we're turning blind eye to it and it will continue to exist. The problem will continue to exist. So it's very important for writers, movie makers and people who are in this field to talk about such things so that it can bring a change in our society. Because if you stop questioning things, if you stop criticizing things, then you are basically heading for a disaster. And nothing should be immune to criticism or questions. Be it any government, be it judiciary, be it the army, be it the nation itself, be it a god, or be it any religion. Nothing should be immune to criticism and questions. Because if we stop doing that, then we are doing a great disservice to the coming generation, because we are creating a shit of a nation for them. So that's why it's important to criticize things, and when things are talking about bad aspects of our society, let them do that, because it's important. So yeah, that was it, and I believe some of you might not agree with me here, but this is what I think. It's important to talk about the bad stuff as well. Now I'm very quickly gonna talk about a major spoiler of this book. So if you haven't read the book, and if you're planning to, just jump to this timestamp for my final thoughts and the rating of this book. So when you'll read this book and when you'll get to the end of it, you will find yourself asking this question: why the hell Balram killed Ashok? Was it really necessary for him to do it? And my answer to that is yes, it was kind of a necessity for Balram to kill Ashok. And why is that? It's because this morally twisted guy, Balram, somehow made himself believe that as long as Ashok is alive, as long as his master is alive, he cannot be his own master. And if he wants to be truly free, he needs to kill Ashok. That's why he killed him. And killing Ashok provided him with something which was very important for him to succeed. And I'm not talking about the money back here which he got after killing him. I'm talking about the courage. Like after killing Ashok, he kind of became fearless, and he went on to do things which he would not have been able to do prior to the killing. So yeah, it was kind of a necessity for him to kill this guy. So this was a review of The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga, people. As I said earlier, it's an amazing book and you people need to read it if you haven't read it. And yeah, my rating for this book is 5 out of 5 stars. No surprises there. I am obviously looking forward to read the other books by Aravind Adiga. Hopefully I'll go for the selection day first. And yeah, we are at the end of the video. Do tell me in the comment section what do you think about the book if you have already read it, and what do you think about this video as well. I'll see you next time in my next video. Until then, my fellow book nerds, keep reading.